All right, guys, welcome to Noob class. Thanks for being here. This is a Google slide deck that is specifically for beginner players, so early beginner players. So I'm going to be describing real basic elements of this game. If you've been playing for a couple months, this is probably not for you. Maybe some of the videos later in the stack might benefit you, because I'm going to take players from people who just know nothing at all about the game all the way up to some basic early game strategy. So but this is specifically for people who are brand new to this game. Let's go ahead and get started. I want to make these as quick as I can. So scroll on down here to our first important slide, and that is resources. Again, this is a Google slide deck, so I'm going to link the address for the slide deck, the share link down below in the description. So you can go to this slide deck at any time and refer to these various slides. All right, so first of all, resources. Like any strategy game, like most strategy games, you have to gather certain resources to build certain buildings and also to produce certain units. So we'll go over those really quickly here. But the first thing you need to know is that every territory you have has one kind of resource. Some of your territories have double tiles. Usually you'll start with maybe two of those. And, depending on the country that you start in. So certain people like certain countries because they have certain resources that they like. I wouldn't worry about that early in the game, though. It's fairly random, and it's hard to get screwed over in that respect, especially because you will eventually start conquering outwards, and you can kind of plan. If you start to realize you're short on a particular resource, you can plan your attacks accordingly. So first of all, we're going to start with the food resources. Food has one resource that's more important than the other, and that is grain. Grain is used for every unit's upkeep. Every unit you has can I has cheeseburger, eats, who knows, porridge every day, whatever it's actually grain, not wheat. And then fish is also a food stuff that's used in this game, but it's kind of a limited thing. It's used for cavalry upkeep and for cavalry. But again, we're not going to get too detailed about that. Grain is kind of the most important one, but it's also important to have fish as well. We'll talk about that in the next video, which is about managing your resources. Next, we have the building materials, wood and iron. And as you can see, the most stuff is under these things, right? So wood and iron are very important. Usually one of your doubles is going to be one of these things, if not both. Again, it depends on the country. But you can see that it's wood and iron are used for just about every building and just about every one or the other for every unit, obviously. So one thing I wanted to mention, that I did not put fortresses over here. I don't know why. I just forgot it, I guess. Pretty lame, because that's one of the reasons why iron is very important early in the game, is you do need iron to build fortresses. Fortresses are defensive little pillboxes, defensive positions, and they're very important in the game. Again, something we'll talk about later. Now we'll go down to the energy resources here. There are three of them. And again, there is one that's more important than the others, and that is oil. Oil is used to build certain buildings, just a couple buildings, but every mech units, as you know, are any kind of machinery. So armored cars are mech units. All the air forces are mech units, artillery, tank, etc. And then, of course, all mech units need them per day, right? Need oil per day, and one has to assume to make fuel and to lubricate the parts. All right, and then these two, coal and gas, are less important because the coal is used mainly for railways, and the gas is used mainly for balloons. Okay, and again, you can freeze frame this, or you can go to the slide deck down below if you want to study this further. But that's it. We're going to keep every video very simple. And so let's move on to the next one. Adios, amigos.